death of the DCEU is upon us. And we got our first trailer for the last official content that's going to be coming out of the DCEU with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now, I did a trailer reaction for this. Going into the trailer, I wasn't really feeling that hyped about the movie, wasn't really anticipating it, not really looking forward to it. Now that I've seen the trailer, it looks fine. It looks like another Aquaman movie. I'm not a huge fan of the first one to begin with. I know it made over $1 billion, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was decent. So now we've got the trailer, and with the trailer, we're now starting to really ramp up with the marketing of Aquaman coming out in December. And one of the things that we've gotten now that this trailer is out is we had an interview with James Wan, and he was talking a little bit about his future plans, or maybe his future ideas with this Aquaman beyond Aquaman 2, even though we've got a DC reboot apparently in the works. Let's take a look at what James Wan had to say. As for the future of the franchise, Wan believes that the second movie nicely sets up a potential third film should audiences demand it. I don't think they will, but let's see what he had to say. What I like between this one and the first one is you really do see the growth of Arthur, Wan says. He starts off as this kind of wanderer, and in the second one, he finally has more of a direction of what he wants to do with his life. If and when there is a third one, that's what it should be. It should be growing these characters, because I think we've set up certain things in a good place in the second movie that you can definitely draw upon in a third. I don't have any stories, but growing the characters is the biggest thing that I think the next Aquaman movie should be about. So let's pause there for a second. This kind of sounds like he's pitching. He's pitching to James Gunn. Hey, after this one, I think Aquaman should keep growing. I think we've set it up pretty nicely in the second one, and I think it'd be really. I don't have any ideas. No, I don't have thoughts. Don't worry, I don't have a story planned out. But I think it would be nice to grow the characters. But let's move on from there. We've got the rest of this article saying. Gunn has already made clear that any DC superhero titles they want to pursue but that don't fit in their connected cinematic universe will be considered a standalone Elseworld entry, similar to the Robert Pattinson's The Batman. And would Wan be interested in directing a third Aquaman film? He says, "Oh, buddy, I don't know. This film has taken up so much of my life, so much of my time. All I can think about now is taking a long break somewhere not too close to the ocean, perhaps." And that comes to us from James Wan, Entertainment Weekly. So, look, I don't buy for a second that James Wan doesn't want to do a third Aquaman movie. And I'm not even saying that it's not possible that they get a third Aquaman movie. Do I personally want a third Aquaman movie? Do I think that there should be another Aquaman movie with this Aquaman going into the DCU? No, I really don't. I think that if you're going to do the DCU, you just do a clean reboot. Like, just clean it out. If you're not going to have Henry Cavill, if you're not going to have Ben Affleck, it's too confusing to bring in other characters from an already established universe. Clean it out. Get it out of here. You don't need it. Move on. So then you look at James Wan's comments in here, and I think he's a little bit contradictory, a little bit contradicting himself, because he's kind of talking like, I've never really thought about a third movie, but if they were to do one, like, I think they should grow the character, and I have plans, and we set it off here to the, like, it sounds like they clearly finished this movie or made this movie with the intention of making it a trilogy. And they've talked about it before too. They've talked about how Aquaman was always intended to be a trilogy. They want that trilogy. And at the end of this, he's like, "Oh no, I don't want to do another one. I just want to go relax and not worry about it." Don't buy that for a second. I totally think that he's doing a little bit of negotiating a little bit through the media right now. He's kind of talking to James Gunn through this article, That's what I personally believe. And when it comes to Aquaman 2, I mean, the first one made $1 billion, which is incredible. For some reason, Aquaman kind of took off with the DCEU. Like, it totally became their oddball hit. I mean, it was the only one that hit $1 billion in the DCEU during that run. So Aquaman 2 coming out, don't think it's going to hit $1 billion. I really don't. I think you're going to see this thing maybe top out at 500 to 600 at the most, 350 to 400 at the lowest, because the DC movies have not been doing very well, and I don't think Aquaman 2 is going to be an exception for that. Now, with that said, could Jason Momoa continue into the DCEU? Could this third Aquaman movie actually happen? Well, I was watching The Flash for the third time the other night. I really like The Flash. I really like that movie. And I watched the post-credit scene again with Ezra Miller with Jason Momoa. And with the comments in mind and with the idea of Jason Momoa continuing as Aquaman in the future of the DCU, I watched the Flash post-credit scene again. And, there are some things in that post-credit scene that could suggest that maybe they are planting little seeds that they are going to continue with Jason Momoa's. I mean, Jason Momoa does not show up in The Flash until that post-credit scene. They deliberately had Ezra Miller's Flash talking to Jason Momoa. And what is Ezra Miller saying to Jason Momoa? He's saying that in other universes he goes to, Batman's different. All these characters are always different. But you, Aquaman, you always look the same. You're always the same person. Now, could that have just been some fun little goofy thing for the post-credit scene? Perhaps. I mean, on its surface, it's kind of a nothing post-credit scene. But when you think about James Gunn coming in with The Flash, he meddled with some stuff. He had endings changed. He had scenes added that Andy Muschietti originally did not have. Was this one of his things? Does he want to continue with Jason Momoa? And is this their way of kind of explaining why Jason Momoa is going to look like Jason Momoa in Aquaman 3 or just an Aquaman reboot in the James Gunn DCU? Maybe. I think there's some things there to suggest that. But with that said and done, guys, honestly, I'm just looking forward to Aquaman Lost Kingdom coming out, and we can just close the chapter of the DCEU and finally move on to the DCU. What do you guys think of this, guys? Are you looking forward to Aquaman 2? Are you looking forward to a third one? Do you want a third one? Comment down below, guys, and let me know all your thoughts and opinions about that, guys.